the service users numbers are declining or stagnating, we were creating our new 5-year strategy. And we could see that there was, for us to achieve the goals that we had highlighted, there were some key strategic challenges that we were facing as an organisation. And so SLT took some time out to really focus on what are the key strategic challenges and how are we going to address them. And the service reach project was one of those key strategic challenges that we knew we had to add dedicated time and resource to solve. We knew as an organisation we needed to work differently. We just knew that straight from the off. We knew that we needed to give time and dedication to it, one of which, as a smaller organisation, we are always doing many things. So we wanted to make sure that we really tackled that issue head on. So we wanted to challenge the way that we were working and thinking. And also we wanted to make sure we had multiple stakeholders involved. So not just the team that obviously delivers the service delivery element, but also a wider organisational spread to help spread voices, but also to make sure that we were shifting our culture in the way that we worked and upskilling our staff. And that was really the most important element for us, not only obviously delivering a broader reach, but also shifting the way that we worked. If these keys of strategic change projects aren't owned by the CEO and the support senior leadership team, I don't think it would have happened. So it's really important. And also we had our trustees sit on our governance of it as well. So I think that having multiple stakeholders at various levels was absolutely crucial for making it happen in the first place and getting the investment that we needed, but B, also allowing staff time to be involved in the project. Getting it right for us in the first go was so incredibly important to show that we can do it as an organisation, to educate ourselves. Like I said, that upskilling part is so important, but also laying the foundation for future projects coming through of how, what we've learned, how we want those changes to be embedded in the organisation, and really making sure that teams are taking it back into their own ways of working within their own smaller teams, and really thinking about how they can apply some of these new ways of working. Obviously, the key goal for us was to extend the reach of our service use. I mean, that's the final output, but that was a longer term goal. So in between that, we had smaller milestones that we were looking to achieve in the project. So, and that was around the ways of working. So what I mean by that is more agile ways of working, more collaboration across teams rather than it being solely within one team, really working in the open, giving ourselves time to pause and reflect on what we've done, keep readjusting. Is this actually the goal that we still want to achieve? Like, all of those things were really important fundamentals that no matter what project it is, you can apply to it. So that's the piece for us that has educated and really upskilled our teams in ways of working. It's given us the tools and techniques needed to approach key strategic challenges. So I think fundamentally that's the key thing, but also the other thing for us is bringing people on the journey. So one of our key values is about collaboration as an organisation, and actually by bringing people on that journey with you, that is the key to success. So we spent a long time in the project doing internal comms, working in the open sessions. Like, that was a completely new way of working for us, not being frightened to say, hey, we don't have all the answers, but ultimately this is what we're learning as we go, rather than going straight into the development, the doing. If you don't spend the time at the front end deciding, actually, have we defined the project correctly and have we got the right insights, then it can really affect the development and delivery of that project. And I think for us, learning that piece, the tools and the techniques that sit underneath that, has really changed our mindset on some of the strategic challenges we've got, and be more realistic with ourselves as an organisation, because we do run at things, and we've now taken the time to say we have to pause and really think about what we're putting into our work plan. I think we've learned from where we started to where we are now. We have learned so much from the way that we want to work across teams, to the way we want to communicate about those projects, to the ways that we work within those projects, to actually being really realistic with the impact and outputs of those projects. So I think expectation setting has been a really big learning curve for us, where you say, well, we're working on this huge project and it's going to completely change within 6 months, when you know realistically that isn't going to be the case. So I think that piece for us has really changed our mindset on these strategic projects that we take forward. Some people are resistant to change, some people love change. So it's pulling on the right people at the right time to help you organisationally. But that's why I was saying that piece about bringing people on the journey with you is so imperative for success. It isn't just about the metric, the final outcome you're trying to achieve. Yes, we want to get more people reaching our services, but in order for that to happen, you've got to take your organisation on a journey with you to achieve that outcome. What I have found interesting through the process is making others feel comfortable with working in that way. So, allowing people the time, say, hey, we're taking a whole week out and we're just going to work on a sprint, and we're not going to look at our emails or do any other work in that week. Making people feel comfortable in that zone is actually a massive cultural shift for the organisation. So that for me has been really interesting learning curve, as well as getting people to think differently, think outside their zone, or even think on projects that they have no insight on at all. How they can be that critical friend for you is really quite imperative for the organisation. So they know the organisation, they may not know the detail, but that's okay, because that external outside voice often will bring the best ideas to the table. I think the impact for me really that it's achieved for the organisation is culturally we are so different coming out of this than where we first began. We always knew we needed to do it, but we didn't quite know how to tackle it. So for me, the impact isn't just necessarily about the outcome of the services reach piece. For me, it's about laying the foundations that allow the organisation to transition into a completely new way of working. So that's the ultimate impact for me, which will allow us to be more innovative, give us the freedom to think differently, and give us the freedom to involve colleagues that we wouldn't have necessarily involved in projects like this. But for me, standing back and looking at all of the projects that we're working on, incredible. The change that Good Innovation have helped Pancreatic Cancer UK go on has been phenomenal, because culturally we're a different organisation. And that is absolutely fundamental for the way we want to grow as an organisation. The impact that I'm talking about is the much broader intangible benefits that weren't in the RFP or whatever, but will live with the organisation forever.